गणपतये नमः। ओम गं गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम ऐं सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम गणानां त्वा गणपतिं हवामहे कविं कवीनाम् उपमस्त्रमस्तवं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पतः नश्चिन्वन्नोदभिस्सीदसादनम्। ओम श्री महागणपतये नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतो वन्दे भगवन्तो पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनो भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावतीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्तधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे तुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयः प्रदीपः। प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवैत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतं दुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावः धोक्ता गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भुक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। भीष्माद्रोणतटा जयत्रदाजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला। अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सुत्तीर्ण खलु पाण्डवैरणनदीः कैवर्तककेशवः। पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटं नानाख्यानगकेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधनाबोधितं। लोके सज्जनशतपथैरहरः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयाद्भारतपङ्कजं कलिमल प्रध्वंसिनः श्रेयसे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यस्तवैः वेदै साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदेः गायन्ति यं सामगा ध्यानावस्थिततद्गदेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यशान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः ॐ श्री कृष्णाय परमात्मने नमः First of all, I'd like to wish you all very good morning and Hari Om to all of you. Very happy and glad to see you all again today morning, and this is my second lecture for this year Krishna Jayanthi, Krishna Geeta Jayanthi. Today I was given a topic of Raja Vidya Raja Gukya Yoga. So it is in chapter 9. Okay. In this, Lord Krishna are going to explain. Lord Krishna is going to explain about the importance of this the spiritual line, or we talk about this godlyhood. We need to understand what is God, because the idea of teaching or the idea of Bhagavad Geeta is none other than to eradicate three important ignorance on us. The first thing is we need to know about who am I. It's talking about the I, which it is the essence of the Bhagavad Geeta, and it's given in the chapter 2 itself, and we have looked on it last Sunday. I spoke on this Sankhya Yoga, and the second portion is talking about the who is God. Okay, who is God, and then what is we mean by this Prapancha or this universe. So a person who can understand I, God, and this universe, he will attain what we call as a God realization, or we call as a self-realization. When we talk about the self-realization and God realization, there's no difference at all. Because Adi Shankara says, Aham Brahmasmi. I am none other than that absolute the absolute reality. Means the Brahman and Brahman alone, or Atman and Atman alone. There's no difference. There's no duality at all. There's no duality. But the duality will come when we think I am separated from this what we call as the Parabrahma Swarupa. But of course we can say that I am separated. In our level we will say that I am a Jivatma, and that Vastu is a Paramatma, and that Paramatma is we call as when we look at it in the Ishvara Tattva. Because Brahman and Ishvara, there is some differences on that, and that is what Lord Krishna is going to teach. Lord Krishna is going to explain to Arjuna what is actually we mean by the Ishvara Tattva, what we mean by the Parabrahma Swarupam. And of course in the next I am going to talk on the Purushottama Yoga. Purusha Uttama is a Purushottama, and on that we will see what is we call as a Uttama Purusha. Uttama Purusha is a Purushottama. Okay, in this Raja Vidya Raja Gukya, the 9th chapter, in this chapter Lord have given us, okay, we can divide this chapter into 6 portions, okay, whereby in the slokas of sloka number 1 to sloka number 3, he have explained about the introduction of the knowledge. The importance of the knowledge is just an intro, and then we have spoke about the glory and necessary and qualification a person need to have for him to know about this Lord. And the second portion is about nature of God. Nature of God from the sloka 4 to sloka 10. Okay, and the sloka 11 is talking about the cause of bondage. All of us got caught with this bondage, okay, cause of bondage. And the fourth one is talking about the types of upasana. Types of upasana, and also he spoke about the atheists. Because in this world a lot of atheists are there. We are fighting, they are saying no God, we are saying God, God. When a person say no God, that means something is there for him to say no, isn't it? If the present is not there, why we need to talk about that matter? Isn't it? So that means something is there and they are denying it. That's all. So here Lord himself has given us types of upasana and about the atheists. And the fifth portion that given by Lord, he spoke on the Sakama Bhaktas. Sakama Bhaktas and Nishkama Bhaktas. Shakama Bhaktas and Nishkama Bhaktas. And the last portion, Sakama Bhaktas is, about the atheists and types of upasana is from Sloka 12 to 19. And the Sakama Bhaktas and Nishkama Bhaktas from Slokas 20 to 29. And glory of Bhakti, because in the chapter, the following chapter, Vibhuti Yoga, he will talk about the Bhakti, and also in this chapter 12, he is going to talk about the Bhakti Yoga. Normally in the Gita, the Lord will start, he will explain a little bit before he go deep on that subject. So, glory of Bhakti, he spoke on the Sloka 30 to 34. So, this is the division that we can see. So, when we wanted to learn Bhagavad Gita, first thing that we need to do is, we need to identify the key subject that we are going to learn. So, like here, we already have separated. So, in that it will be more easier for us to understand the subject or the teaching of a Gita. And it's not only for the Gita, whatever Vedantic subject or even the secular subject, first thing we need to know is we must understand the keyword. Okay, so now we go for the introduction. Normally the introduction will be very simple. Okay, and in the introduction here, Lord has spoken about the Saguna and Nirguna. So in the Saguna and Nirguna, I think most of us here, we know what we mean by the Saguna and Nirguna. That means the Saguna means Saguna Brahman and Nirguna Brahman. Saguna is with the form and Nirguna is formless. Okay, like when we are entering, when we are in our prayer hall, we are worshipping to all our deities here, and to our Guru in the form of Rupa. So that is what we call as a Saguna. Okay. And when we look at them, actually are we really praying to the idol? To be very frank, to be in the truth, we are not praying to the idol. We are praying to the philosophical meaning behind that idol. Isn't it? So that is what we call as a Nirguna. Okay. That means Nirguna means it's a philosophical meaning. Okay, we are only going for the philosophical meaning, which is we know that the God, we say the God pervades everywhere. When God pervades everywhere, how we can just we can materialize it in one form alone. So in that we say God is in a formless, and he also introducing or is talking about the secret and also the sacredness of this knowledge. This knowledge is very secret. Why it's called as a secret and why we call that as a very sacred? Both the spelling will be more or less same. The secret, because we can't pass the message. We can't pass the message to a people who are not ready to understand or to accept the meaning of this, the highest knowledge. We can't share. We can't share to everybody. Why? We can't share to everybody. Why? Because there will be a misconception. They will misunderstood the teaching. So for this, we always must have a pre-qualification before we enter into the Vedantic subject. That's why when we go for the Vedantic subject to learn about the highest truth, especially when we go for the studies, like example myself, they always will give us the basic teaching first, which we call as a Prakarana Granthas. Prakarana Granthas means the fundamental. What is the fundamental? We must understand the philosophy, the terminologies. Let's say you are saying Atma, you must understand a little bit of Atma. Let's say we said Sharira, this body, you must know what we mean by body. We have the Stula Sharira, we got the Sukshma Sharira, we got the Karana Sharira. Okay, and we also need to know lot of the fundamentals things first before we can go in deeper into this. So that once we know and we understand the fundamental, then that person's mind will be open up to receive the highest knowledge. And when that person receives the highest knowledge and he can assimilate himself into that, then alone he can become a Jivan Mukta. Otherwise, it is going to be a mere academy alone. And most of us, we are learning this Vedanta in a way of a mere academy. We are not actually we call as putting into Nididhyasana. We always say Shravana, Manana and Nididhyasana. We are listening, we are reading, we are in whichever way we are gaining the knowledge. But when it comes to the Manana, to analyze the matter, to think about that matter, we fail to do that. Or even if, let's say, we analyze it, but when it comes to the practice, we are still in the secondary level. We are not exactly practicing what supposed or what exactly was taught by the scripture. We are very much into this material world, and we are only allocating certain period of time for this divine path. We take it as a holy thing, just as a holiday for us. We are coming like a Sunday, we are spending 1 or 2 hours. After that, and then we go back home, we totally forget about the presence of God. So let's say we have that attitude, then how to think about that Jivan Mukta? No need to talk about the attaining realization. Just to think about that also, we are very far away from that. So they said we must put it to Nididhyasana. Okay, without that Nididhyasana we can't attain that. So that means this is a very sacred thing, and we also must prepare ourselves to be part of that, and we need to purify ourselves. That means we need to, before we go into that, we need to purify ourselves. How we can purify ourselves? By doing all this Karma Yoga. Because we know Karma Yogena Malam Nivrittihi. That means by doing the Karma Yoga, all your malas, that malas means your impurities can be eradicated. Karma Yogena Malam Nivritti, Upasana Yogena Vikshepa Nivritti. That means after you eradicate all your malas, then only you can do your Upasana. Upasana means you do your japa, you do your meditation, so that you can get one concentrated mind. Without that one concentrated mind, you can't come into the jnana at all. It is impossible. It is impossible. That is the reason when in the Vedanta they have given, before you enter to the jnana path, you must have the sadhana chatushtaya. Sadhana chatushtaya means, first thing you must have a viveka. You have to have a vairagya. you must have a Satka Sampattihi, and you must have the Mumukshutva. I don't know how many people know all these terms. I'm just telling. I hope that you all know. Viveka means you must have a discriminative power. You need to discriminate which is the truth and which is false. That means Sat and Asat, Atman and Atman. Okay? And Vairagya means dispassion. Okay, dispassion. That means I already taken this birth. I have taken this human birth, because Adi Shankara Bhagavan says it is a very, very difficult to get the human birth. Okay, it's a very rare thing to get a human birth, but we are so fortunate to get this human birth. By the grace of God and also by the grace of our own self, we have taken this human birth. Because to know about God, nothing else, no other living beings in this world can understand God other than the human beings. Okay? And he says it's a very, very rare to get a real guru. We are fortunate enough to get our own guru. We have our guru there. We have our own guru, which they are guiding us into that real path. We have this guru. And the third is to have the thought to attain liberation. This is in a Viveka Chudamani. In a Viveka Chudamani, the third sloka is said, Manushuttam, Mumukshuttam, Mahapurusha Samsaraya. I mean, these three things is very rare. So, when we already have these three, but still we don't change, then I don't know what kind of human beings we need to call ourselves. Isn't it? So in that he said it is a very sacred. Not everybody will get that. Human beings, selected person only can understand, can know about Geeta. Okay, I'm not talking about the normal persons named Geeta. I'm talking about the real teaching of the Bhagavad Geeta, which was revealed by Lord Krishna himself, whereby Lord Krishna is none other than the ultimate Purushottama, which is Narayana himself. So yeah, he said, why we need to understand this? Why we need to get this knowledge? Because by knowing this knowledge, and by practicing it, this knowledge, then only we can release from this cycle of birth and death. And that is what we call as a moksha. And this moksha comes under the Purushartha. Comes under the Purushartha. Purushartha means your aim of life. Purushartha, Artha, Kama, Dharma, Moksha. Whether you want to live in the Artha, just a wealth alone, it's up to us. Artha Kama, you just want to fulfill your desire, up to us. Or you think this Artha and Kama is still in the secondary level, it's not going to help me, then you will be coming into the Dharma. The Dharma means you are pursuing totally righteous life. Okay, totally righteous life. You will be practicing the Dharma alone, but the Dharma alone, it's not going to give you a total happiness or permanent happiness. There is some kind of a lackingness there. It is not a permanent happiness. We might think that we have earned in a very right way, okay, and then I'm spending. Let's say you are living in a very luxurious life, but whatever things, the luxurious things that you have bought, it's not going to give you a permanent happiness. Everything there is a lackingness, which is like in the Viveka Chudamani, in the Bhajagovintam, we have given Putreshana, Lokeshana, Vitteshana, or Kirti, Kamini, Kanchana. Kanchana means a wealth, Kamini is a relationship, and Kirti means a name and fame. Is it these three things is permanent with you? Nothing is permanent. So when nothing is permanent, then if we are seeking that, we are going after that, what is the point of going after that? Of course, I am not saying that all that is important. It's important for us to live in this world. But living in this world alone is not the ultimate aim. We are going to die and we are going to come back again. So for you, what is important? What you need? Your karma is needed. That means your karma alone will determine your next birth. So that means we need to always we need to upgrade ourselves. We are upgrading our version in a high-tech. But are we really upgrading the aim of our life? So here they said, you need to release your bondage. So for that, you need to get all this Raja Vidya, Raja Gugya. This knowledge, the knowledge about the God, I and world. So by that, because this is going to give you the result, and you must have a faith. You must have a faith towards your teacher, your guru. Okay, and also on the teaching of the guru. Because you see, when we talk about the Shraddha means it's talking about the faith. The faith. Guru Vedanta Vakyeshu Shraddha. The meaning of the Shraddha is Guru Vedanta Vakyeshu Shraddha. That means whatever word given or uttered by the Guru is none other than from the Vedas. Everything he has assimilated and he will give it to you in a very simple way or in a different way of teaching, so that you do not need to really suffer to understand all the Vedas. That's why they say in the Guru worship, when we follow the teaching of the Guru, he will make it very simple. He will make it very simple. He will say, you just follow this, then you can attain realization. There's a one sloka, Guru Mantra, Dhyana Moolam Gurur Murtim, Puja Moolam Gurur Padam, Mantra Moolam Gurur Vakyam, Moksha Moolam Guru Kripa. That means without the Kripa of the Guru, you can't attain realization. And Dhyana Moolam Gurur Murtim. That means you need to meditate upon the Murti of the Guru. Dhyana Moolam Gurur Murtim. Puja Moolam Gurur Padam. You need to do the puja. You need to prostrate upon the Guru's feet. Puja Moolam Gurur Padam. Mantra Moolam Gurur Vakyam. Whatever word uttered by the Guru is none other than, it's called as a mantra. So in that, when it comes to this Rajagukya, the Guru have introduced the highest knowledge. And from there, Lord Krishna have gone to the second portion, which is from the sloka 4 to sloka 10. He spoke about the nature of the Guru. The nature of God. Always when I spoke about the Guru, carried away with the Guru. So, nature of God. Because actually, if you look at it, there is no difference. Guru and God are no difference. The mantra say, Ishvaro Gururat Meti Murti Bheda Vibhagine. Ishvaro Gururat Meti Murti Bheda Vibhagine. There is no differences between God and Guru. Both are one and same. So yeah, the nature of God, it's a revealing. He revealed. He said, He is the one pervades the entire universe. He is the one pervades the entire universe. That means in this our Hinduism or in this Sanatana Dharma, there is no creation. There is no creation. Maybe some people would have not heard, how come then there is no creation, the world is there? Of course the world is there. Why we say there is no creation? Because the Lord Himself pervades everywhere. He Himself becomes all these material. These five Panchabhuta, the five elements is none other than the Lord Himself. He is space, He is this Akasha, Akasha Vayuhu, this air, Agnihi fire, Apaha water, and Prithvihi is this soil. That means he himself become all these. This Panchaputa. How he created the world? He uses intellect cause and also this material cause. He is a very intelligent person and he himself is the material. Using that, he has created the whole Prapancha. Like the spider. The spider, we have seen the spider. The spider, when he moves from one place to another place, he using his own saliva, he will create the web. Isn't it? After that, what will happen? When he wanted to move from that place, he will swallow back the material, the saliva, and he will move, and again he will create the web. Like that, same like that, the Lord also have created the world using or he himself become this material and using his intellectual, his intellect, he created the whole Prapancha. So in that, there is no such thing as God is a separate entity and the world is a separate entity. Both are one and the same. Both are one and the same. Like just we take a simple one mantra. We said Krishna. What is the meaning of Krishna? We said existence and bliss. Krish is the existence, Na is this happiness. That means whoever the Krishna, we are saluting to the Krishna, which is always exists. When he is always exists, and because he is always exists, he is always in the bliss state. Okay, and Narayana. Let's say I am saying the mantra Om Namo Narayanaya. Okay, what is the meaning of that mantra? Narayana. I am saluting to the all-pervading deity. All-pervading deity. When I say I am saluting to the all-pervading deity, that means he is everywhere. When he is everywhere, he is the cause for everything. So in that, can we say there is a place without the presence of God? He is with you, he is with me, he is everywhere. That means there is no place without the Lord. In that, everything is he himself alone. So here, that is what in this, the nature of God, we said about God. We said God, the Lord, is the one in this, the whole universe. The whole universe, there is no absence of the Lord in this universe. Everywhere is Lord alone. Okay. And then but like the Brahman. Okay. When we talk about Brahman, from Brahman, okay, Brahman have because of his own Leela, okay, he wanted to create the world. Using his Maya Shakti. Maya means it is that itself is a Shakti. He become Ishvara. And when we talk about the Ishvara Tattva means with the form. Okay, with the form, he become in a general. In a general we will say Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. Okay, the generator, operator, dissolutioner. That's what we call as God. So using that, he himself become the Ishvara. Okay, he created the world and he need to preserve the world. He become Vishnu, and whenever needed, okay, this solution need to happen. So he become the Lord Shiva. And let's say we look at the meaning of the Shiva. The Shiva means auspiciousness. Auspiciousness come from where? The light. That means everything is auspicious. It's just a flame. Can we say that there is a direction for the flame? The direction, where is the direction for the flame? It's everywhere. So the auspiciousness, in that everything in this world is nothing else than the Lord alone. We need to understand that. Because of our ignorance. Because of our ignorance, we don't understand that. We don't accept that. Okay. So in that, Lord also talking about the who is the Paramatma. Who is Paramatma? Parama Atma. Param Atma. Become a Parama Atma means Parama means supreme. Supreme Atma is the Brahman. And he said, the definition given for the Paramatma is Karya Karana Vilakshana. Karana Karya Vilakshana. That means, what is the meaning of the Karana? Karya Karana. Karya Karana means a cause and effect. Cause and effect. And Vilakshana means he is free from being the cause and effect. So here the Karana Karya Vilakshana means he himself is the creator, he is the cause for it, and he himself is the effect for it, but he is free from all this cause and effect. He is free from this cause and effect. So we say that he is a akarta and also a bhokta. He is not the doer, he is not the enjoyer. Am I talking very high philosophy? You all can follow me or not? Because I'm looking at some people are like they have dreaming only. Because I have to catch up with the time. I'm trying to put everything in that. So I'm going a bit fast. If you can't get, please let me know so that maybe I can slow down. Because this is which is a very related to the 15th chapter. I still can explain about the Paramatma Purushottama in the 15th chapter. Okay. And we say the Paramatma is a Nitya Suddha. Paramatma is a Nitya Suddha. Suddha means is a purest, is ever pure. And is a Nitya Buddha. Nitya Buddha means is ever conscious. Conscious, ever conscious, that means he is aware. Like a Prajnana Brahman. We say there's a Mahavakya other than the Aham Brahmasmi, Prajnana Brahman. Prajnana Brahman means is a total awareness. Awareness is reality, is a Prajnana Brahman. I mean the awareness. Here I like to say, normally in this Vedanta subject, a lot of people misunderstood. When we say, especially in the English books, they will call that Atma as a reflected consciousness, or they will just say as a consciousness. In this, the consciousness which is referred to the Atma, and this consciousness, the normal that we are using as the word of consciousness, it's not same. Because I have seen most of my students also, they always misunderstood the consciousness word. Here the consciousness means one is awareness, that means conscious awareness. But when we talk about the consciousness, it's talking about, it's referred to the Atma. And that is not a consciousness, that is not a conscious. Okay, I just say it here so that maybe there will be somebody who have this kind of thought. This consciousness or this conscious and that consciousness is different. So here we are saying that he is a Buddha. Buddha means he is a total awareness is there. He is all knowing. He knows everything. There is nothing in this world can be hid from the Lord. Lord understood everything. Even whatever you are thinking now, sitting in front of me, he knows. Okay, he knows. And whatever prayers that you wanted to tell him, also you know. So in that, why we need to go and tell him, put one big list and say, I need this, I need that. It is not really needed, isn't it? Because he is with you, he is within you. That means all your thoughts he knows. Even a good thought he knows, even a bad thought also he knows. So in that, you have nothing to be hide from him. It's not nothing to be hide. You can't hide. You cannot escape from his knowledge. So in that, whatever prayers he said, pray to him sincerely. He knows what you need, and you do not need to ask him anything. Isn't it? What is that for us to go and begging from him? Don't you think that by just sincere prayers, he will give you? Let's say, just an example, the mother. When a baby is crying, father and mother are there, in the middle of the night, the baby will be crying. Who is the first person will get up and carry the baby? Is it the father will carry or the mother will carry? Who will carry? The mother. Why? Because the mother, the nature of the mother itself is like that. The relationship. Okay. So there, as like a mother can understand what is the need of the baby, whether the baby is crying for milk or because of a stomach ache or what, the mother knows. So the father won't know. Same like that, God is like our mother. God is like our mother. I mean, God knows what exactly we need in this world. We do not go and beg from him. Please stop begging, because God never wants us to beg from him, because he knows what to give you at the right time and right place. He knows. We do not need to seek for it, but we only need to ask from him what? I want the highest knowledge. You need to ask, give me a devotion, bhakti, give me a jnana. These two is enough. But don't come and tell me, Swami, you are the one say don't ask anything. So why must I ask for the bhakti and jnana? At least you ask that, you will be granted with the highest. Isn't it? So he said, don't ask for this. Ask for the highest. Because all the material, once you are getting the higher, the devotion, the jnana, all the rest of things, the material things will follow behind you. So he said, it's a Nitya Buddha and Nitya Mukta. Nitya Mukta means Mukti. Mukti means he is ever free. Means he is not bound by anything. Lord is not bound by anything. As what I said, it's a Bhokta and then a Karta. So he is ever free. And he is free from all kind of attachment. Only we are having this attachment because of the bondage. This is a bondage attachment. Actually, if we start, when we go back to the chapter 1, all this despondency happened because of what? Arjuna having all this kind of despondency. Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Why? Because of the attachment. Or we call it a Raga Dvesha. Okay, Raga. Like an example, see, in the war, he was placed in the middle of the battlefield. He was placed in front of Dronacharya and Bhishmacharya, isn't it? And there, millions of thousands of soldiers are there. Duryodhana also there. But Lord Krishna, why must he choose? When Arjuna asked, please put me in I wanted to see who are there, I'm going to fight with. So he took Arjuna, and exactly in front of Bhishma and Drona, he placed him. There is a purpose. Okay, there is a purpose why he placed him there. Because after he saw Bhishma and Drona, okay, immediately his body trembled. The mind, he can't think. And he said, no, I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to fight. So yeah, it's all because of the attachment. Like let's say our own family member. In a family, let's say in the family got 5 people, okay, siblings, 5 siblings, parents, okay, siblings. When the father, I'm just saying, father passed away. Okay. Do you think all the children, all the siblings, the children will have same kind of sadness? No. No, isn't it? You all accept that, right? Why? These differences based on the attachment, the way you attach to that father. Some, they are not so attached to the father. Okay, he only wants some little bit of a pocket money. Every time you want to go and chankol, and then you want to take back, isn't it? Some, especially the girls, will be very attached to the father. They can't accept the death. So in that, all this happen. Even the father is the same person for everybody, but the attachment is the one give us the pain. So if, let's say, somebody else passed away, we don't feel anything. Why? Because we don't have any relationship with that person. So in that, the cause for all this, whatever happened in this world is happened because of the attachment. So here he said Nitya Mukta, Lord is free from all kind of attachment. He don't have attachment at all. But we are the one carried away with this likes and dislikes, okay, the attachment. And this attachment is the cause for the bondage. So, and the Paramatma is a Karna Karya Vilakshana, is a Nitya Suddha, is a Nitya Buddha, is a Nitya Mukta, and Desha Kala Vastu Aparichinnaha. This Desha means is beyond all this space. There is no limitation. There is no limitation. God is the same God. Now we are praying to the Lord Krishna. If Lord Krishna is already present in this hall, if somebody else is calling Krishna, then how he can go? Can he be there when he is already present here? If we limit him in this place alone. Can we? And then let's say somebody is driving and suddenly he is going to meet an accident, he called Krishna. The Krishna, you holding him here, he said, we are having a Geeta Jayanthi, Swami, you be here, then that person will die. Isn't it? So like that, Lord is everywhere. You can't limit the presence of Lord in one particular place. That means it's a Desha Kala, is beyond the time. He exists in the past, he exists in the present, and he also will exist in the future. He is going to present in the future. This is a Trikala. Is a Trikalatriya. That means he will present in these three times or three periods of time: past, present, and future. So we can't limit him in this Kala alone. And also Avastatriya. Avastatriya means like we alone, our individual, a person. Okay, we have the awakening state. Awakening state we call as a Jagrat Avastha, then Supna Avastha, dreaming state, and third we have a Sushupti Avastha, deep sleep state. In these three periods of time, okay, Jagrat, Swapna and Sushupti, the presence of the Atma, the presence of the Brahman are same. There is no such thing that since we are in the deep sleep state, the mind is not present there, okay, the Lord disappeared. Can the Lord disappear from the body when we are in the deep sleep state? It's only because we have lost our mind. That means the presence of the mind is not there. So in this, he said, is beyond the Kala, beyond the time. And also we said Desha Kala Vastu. Vastu means your object. Okay, he is beyond all these objects. You can't limit him in one particular object. In one particular object. You can't say that the Lord is only present in the idol. You can, in the same time, let's say, now you put something, saligrama. You put a saligrama, and then you can say, Lord is present in that. Like a Ganesha. I'm not sure about the northern Indian style. In South Indian, they will use the turmeric. And then they will put one, and they say this is a Ganesha. Isn't it? And the priest when he do the rituals, how he will invoke the Lord. He will invoke Avahana, Sthabana, Sannidhana, Sannirodhana, Avaguntana. That means he will invoke the Lord from his heart. He said God is here and he is invoking the Lord. Once he invoke, once he have taken out the God from his heart, then that person is supposed to die. Because when the Shiva is not there, we call him as a Sava. That means the presence of God is not there, then he become a dead person. Isn't it? So yeah, he invoke after the prayers and then he take it back and put it back in his heart. Okay. So here we say you can't limit him in one particular object. He's beyond all these objects. And is a aparichinnaha. Aparichinnaha means is a attributeless. Attributeless. Brahman is attributeless. There is no attribute for him. What do we mean by the attributeless? He don't have a name, he don't have a form, and he don't have a gunas. He don't have a gunas. That means when we talk about the gunas, he is beyond the sattvic, rajas and tamas. And he don't have a form. He is beyond the form. And when there is no form, then how we can call with the name. So it means God is beyond all these nama rupa guna. It's an attribute. Like in a Geeta, the whole Geeta, okay, he said, when you are looking at him as under the Ishvara Tattva, you will name him as a Krishna. But when in the Vishwarupa Darshana, okay, Vishwarupa, you can't name him as a Krishna alone. He is the whole universe. In that, how we can say is limited to one particular name and form. And if you go further, he himself, as what we have seen before, the nature, he said, is everywhere. In the whole universe, he himself pervades. So when he himself pervades in the whole universe, then there is no such thing as there is a form. He becomes the Nirguna. Even the Guru also, he is beyond all these gunas. He is beyond all these gunas. Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dundvadidam Gagana Satrusham Tattvam Ashyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalachalam Sarvadi Sakshibhudam Bhavatitam Tri Guna Rahitam. Is beyond these three gunas. That means when the Guru can be beyond the three gunas, all these three gunas, Sattvic, Rajas and Tamas, the Lord, the ultimate source which is the Brahman and Brahman alone, he also beyond all these three gunas. So here we say is a aparichinna. So here if you like a Rajagukya, Rajavidya, Rajagukya Yoga, there's a word of a yoga. When we say yoga, generally we will understand that, okay, as a union with God. Isn't it? That is the meaning given for the yoga, union with God. My question is, can you be united with God? Can we be united with God? I say no. You cannot be united. When you yourself already union with Him. You yourself are God and God alone. You are the Krishna and Krishna alone. You yourself are the Brahman and Brahman alone. You yourself are the Atman and Atman alone. And then where comes the union again? Only we need to, what we need to have? We need to remove our ignorance. Our ignorance. That means you need to remove your delusion. That is what this chapter is talking about. Your delusion. The delusion is here. The real meaning of the yoga is viyogaha. Viyogaha. Vi means separation. Separation from what? Separation from delusion. Separation from ignorance. So here they say the meaning of the yoga is Veda Brahma Viyogaha is yoga. Veda Brahma Viyoga. Veda means separation. The identification. Veda. The differences. When you can understand there is no separation between you and Lord, the only thing is stopping you is your own ignorance, your own delusion, then you already become the realized soul. You are the Jivan Mukta. Isn't it? Can we remove? Or can we this whereby the Atma is pervades everywhere? The heart is here. The Atma is here. And the Brahman is there. Is there any separation? You can go and union with that. You can't. You can't get union like that. Once your ignorance got separated, by nature you will realize Him. And that is what we call as a yoga. And yoga means viyoga. Viyoga means separation from delusion is what we call as a yoga. So here in this, when we talk about the nature of God, we say we must understand all this about God. When we understand about the God, then naturally you will become one with that. The problem is we don't have the understanding, and that understanding is the cause for all these bondage. And that is what we are going to look at, the cause of bondage. The third portion is a cause of bondage, explains in the sloka 11. And all this is a cause for the bondage is ignorance. And that ignorance alone makes us separated from Almighty Lord. So when we can know about Lord, when we can eradicate all our ignorance, and we can get the knowledge about the truth, knowledge of this Parabrahma Sarupa, then we can be one with the ultimate source. We will be called as a Jivan Mukta. Jivan Mukta, or in the previous chapter, 8 chapter, 7 chapter, Lord have explained about the Krama Mukti. Lord have explained about the Krama Mukti. But here, the Krama Mukti happened after we passed away. But the Jivan Mukti will happen while you are still alive. And Jivan Mukti, all of us, we must become one day, we need to go for the Jivan Mukti. We need to be a Jivan Mukti. We need to realize God while we are alive. While we are still alive. Because we can't, nobody knows, nobody can give us surety after this birth, after we die, whether we are going to take again, we are going to take a human birth, or unfortunate, we will be something else. And don't ever think that we will be always happy living in this world. There's in Rishikesh, our ashram, Divine Life Society, our past General Secretary, Swami Krishnananda, is a great scholar. There's one white lady approached him, okay? And he said, why must I seek God when I'm living happily, okay, with all my material thing, I'm living very happy. I don't have any problem at all. And our Swami Krishnananda have answered him, even pig also living happily with his own family. So it means he just said the pig also living happy, because there is some differences between the human being and the pigs, animals. Everybody can live happily, even animal also are giving birth, everything. But is it same with us? So it is our ultimate aim. We need to attain the highest truth. We need to attain God realization. That is the reason God has given you the human birth. If we don't make use of these chances given, then we are the number one. I don't want to say anything. Number one loser. There's a lot of words we can put our own self. Okay, whether you want to call ourselves a stupid or whatever things, but we are going to be the number one loser. Okay, because everything we can get. Whatever we want, we can gain it. We can get it if God is with you. Okay, but if we have we lose the chances given by God, we are losing everything. So he said, you must remove this ignorance, because how you can remove the ignorance? By getting the knowledge from the scripture. The scripture like Bhagavad Geeta, we call as a Dharma Shastra. Okay, it's a Dharma Shastra, or we call as a Yoga Shastra, which is going to give you a Moksha Shastra. This called as a Moksha Shastra, because this Gita, other scriptures, it's showing you how you can attain moksha. So here the third one is that, and then other than that we will be having, okay, we are looking at the atheists, all this upasana, and also the Sakama Bhaktas and Nishkama Bhaktas. We know the Sakama Bhaktas and Nishkama Bhaktas means when we talk about the Panja Mahayagya, we go back to the chapter 4. These are Sakama and Nishkama. Pancha Mahayagnas, he said, you must do certain Nitya Karma you need to do. Isn't it? So, in the same way, the Nishkama Bhaktas means whether we are doing our things, our karma in a right way or not. Or you are only doing the karma just to fulfill your desire. Are you doing the Kamya Karma alone? Okay, Kamya Karma means you are doing with some objective. You want to gain something with some expectation. In the last week I said devotion. When we talk about the devotion, I said the formula for the devotion is what? No emotion plus no expectation. It's in a very simple. No emotion, no expectation. But when we are doing it with the expectation, it is called as a Kamya Karma. So here, if you are in the Nishkama Karma, you are the Nishkama Bhaktas, then the Lord. Nishkama Bhaktas means you are doing it like a Deva Yajna, Rishi Yajna, all these are compulsory duties that you are doing, but without the expectation. and with the thought of Ishvara Arpana Buddhi. Ishvara Arpana Buddhi, and you are receiving whatever given to you with the thought of Ishvara Prasada Buddhi. Ishvara Prasada Buddhi. When you do some activities, you say, whatever you do, I leave it to Lord. Because Lord is the Karma Balatata. That means He is the giver. Whatever karma you are doing, He will fulfill. When He fulfill your karma, you accept it with the thought, Ishvara Prasada Buddhi. You accept everything as a Ishvara. It's a Prasada. You accept that as a Prasada, and with that thought, you are free from karma. Even like when we are taking a food, why we are doing the Brahmarpana? Or even before, like here they are serving a food to Lord. We will be chanting the Brahmarpanam, all that. In our dining, people serving food, and then we are consuming that food. When people are serving, why do you think they are giving that food? They are washing away all their karmas. You see, we have done so many things. We don't know whether we are in the right path or wrong path. We are doing. So, we wanted to do some good thing, okay, like donating, giving food, annadana, all that, bhojan to everybody, so that we can, we can separate, or we can give away, or we can just distribute away our karma. We are washing away our karma. And the person, when we are serving the food, when the person is consuming that food, actually we are sharing the other person's karma. Okay. In that, if I say you are sharing your karma, the other person's karma, then you are incurring, you are sharing his karma with you. Don't you think that you are accumulating some more karma with you? Isn't it? Don't think that is why Swamiji come and said giving annadana is it wrong or what? It's not wrong. What I am trying to say is, whenever we are consuming even the annadana bhojan given by somebody, okay, the free food, whatever things, always pray. Always pray. That day, our Professor Ji, the granddaughter came and chanted the Annapurna mantra. Very beautifully she chanted. So here, we must learn. We must learn some mantra, or we need to pray to the Lord. Thanks for giving me this food, and pray for the person who have donated that. Okay, that's why we say Annatataha Sukhi Bhava. Annatataha Sukhi Bhava means may Lord bless the person who have donated. So yeah, by doing that, we are receiving the prasad. When we offer, it becomes what? Prasad. So the prasad got no karma at all. So we will be free. So here, in the whole chapter, what we need to do is, we need to increase, or we need to receive the knowledge, which is the highest knowledge given by Lord Krishna. We must understand that, means Shravana, understand, analyze, Shravana, Manana, and put it into your practice, Nididhyasana. By doing that, we surely will, one day, we will attain the highest truth. With that, thanks for giving me these opportunities. So I think I've done my part. Okay. Thank you very much. Hari Om Tat Sat. God bless all of you. Om Namo Narayana.